A huge win for the Toronto Raptors, 117-104 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Welcome to the Scotia Club inside Scotiabank Arena. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Raptors Night Cap. Tonight we're joined by Sherman Hamilton and Paul Jones. Why do you do this to me, man? Just stop staring at me like that. We're trying to do a show.
I'm talking.
Stare with Jonesy. You're making me uncomfortable. Do you like this little?
Look at you.
You like this little setup?
Can't be uncomfortable, man.
The guy smiles at me all the time.
What do you want me to do?
You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's true.
It's like making contested shots.
That's right.
Anybody,
Don't smile, you got a problem.
Anybody can make a shot in the
Handle
gym
your
with
business,
nobody there.
bro. Handle your business.
The guy's got his fingers up your nose. Can you knock it down?
Handle your business. Don't put your hand in my face, though, but handle your business.
Joji, to me, this is a must-win. Okay, this was a must-win. What impressed you most about the team's play or their mentality?
The deep-fried cauliflower. It's right between Sherman and I. We're going to fight over it like a loose rebound.
I'm all veggies.
I thought after initial kind of finding their legs in the first quarter, and it kind of paralleled OG's path in the game. You know, the first couple shots, and then he seemed to get his footing, as did the team. I thought Pascal was spectacular. He's almost unguardable when he starts doing the Paul Pierce, the herky-jerky, changing speeds and directions, and he gets 2 feet into the paint, it's lights out. And I thought his attitude and the way he played that with that kind of aggression kind of set the tone for the team.
What impressed you?
Oh, it was great to see.
So I want to go back to that Paul Pierce thing in comparison in a second, but what impressed you?
It was great to see the bench play the way they did.
Yeah.
I mean, 43 points off the bench, that's trending in the right direction. Obviously, Pascal did a great job. You know, OG comes back into the game, and the good thing is his injury was upper body, so he could, from a cardiovascular perspective, you know, he could keep his legs under him. But he looked really in shape. You know, for a guy who's missed that many games, he looked like
lean.
He looked lean.
Yeah.
The chase
really
down
trim.
block there, like
After the missed three, gets back, and like, okay, that's what you're missing, right?
That amongst everything else he brought. But you know what I really like about OG in this game? His first shot was an air ball. And what did he do? The next time he got it,
Shot it again. Yeah.
OG's ready to go. But I just thought that collectively, this team in a game that was important. This was a big game. And you let Chicago go, you didn't have it. But this was a huge game. And they handled their business. They made that Cleveland team look like they were an inferior team through 3 quarters. So I like the way they approached it. I like the way they executed and got it done.
Yeah.
And they did it in a Raptor traditional style. It was defense first, then blow the doors open with the offense. They created off their turnovers. They went out and ran. They did what they do and got a good W. Yeah,
Jonesy, let's go back to Pascal real quick, because my brother and I debate this all the time. How unguardable is Pascal? And we both think he's unguardable, but you know, obviously he's come a long way. This is an interesting comparison. This is the first time I've kind of heard this about Paul Pierce, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what
kind of the guy, right?
Yeah.
Like Pierce operated in that elbow area, you know, in that pinch post, and he got to his spot, and when he got to a certain spot, it was game over, because you were either running at him and he was going to score, or he was pitching it out, and he had guys like Ray Allen, guys knocking down threes. What's different right now with Pascal?
Yeah.
I mean, Lauri Markkanen looked like, the way he was guarding him at times, like he was blocking for Joe Burrow against Aaron Donald. Like he had both arms out, and then like he like this, and then Pascal would spin, and then he'd end up with an arm on his back. Like, both of you are right in that sense. Like he is when he puts his mind to it like that, and he starts changing speed and herky-jerky and changing directions, you can't guard him. He's getting into the paint, and then what are you going to give up? You're going to run a late double at him? He'll dump it down low to Achua or Boucher or who's ever down there, Scotty Barnes. He'll kick it out to Fred. There was no Gary Trent Jr. tonight. I'm sure he kicked at least 1 or 2 to OG to knock down. So it's... I wouldn't say it's the way you want to run your offense all the time, but it can certainly be your go-to. Give it to Pascal in the middle. If they run at him with a double, he's going to hurt them. If he gets into the paint, he's going to hurt you even more.
And on a night when he's making 6 threes,
yes,
lights out.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
But we've talked about this before on this show. Like, we're so impressed that he's not relying on that. but now he brings it back to the game, and that's like,
Well, it's a part of his game.
It
it's
is a
not
part of his
something that
game.
he has
That's
to
right,
force.
yeah.
So it's a part of his game, and when he has a rhythm back there, he's supposed to let it fly. He's supposed to look for that three-point shot. But Pascal, he always has a balance in his game. He's in attack mode. He's in attack mode. Oh, you're backing off of me? I can do that too. And I think, we talk about Pascal's ability and his quickness and his spins, but his recognition, his strength, he's a stronger player.
Yes.
So when he's hitting people now, he's not losing his balance. He's hitting people, he's stabilizing, he's making a move. They can't keep up with him. And Pascal has really, really worked on the left side of his body. His ability to spin and finish with his left and put people in that spin cycle and get to his left side, you can't defend it because he could always go to his right.
Yeah.
Now he's got the left, he's stronger, and he got that neck up game. He understands what he needs to do to get the job done.
Yeah, let's talk defensively now, because you mentioned they made Cleveland look like a below-average team for 3 quarters, and primarily that was defensively, right? Like Cleveland wasn't scoring a lot. They don't score a lot of points generally. They're a defensive-minded team, but the Raptors really kept them at bay. What were they doing in terms of defensive schemes on Garland?
Garland's pretty good. Like
Yeah,
he got loose. He got loose for a couple.
Yeah.
I thought
7 of 18, though. Like they
made him a volume.
Work.
Yeah, they made him work volume. He was really difficult to curtail in the screen roll stuff. He was
Shifty.
very shifty. And then you're Fred out there and you're looking where the screen's coming from and you're trying to, you're hearing where it's left, it's right, and while you're kind of paying attention to that, he's got you on skates. So. I thought they did a good job for the most part of clogging the lane. Like Cleveland got some stuff on the outside. Markkanen, Okoro, some of these guys got some stuff on the outside. But when you got into the lane, you were met with bodies.
Yeah.
Shots were contested. I thought Boucher was really good in there tonight, contesting shots and rebounding and just being a presence. Yeah. I liked what the Raptors did defensively, OG back. And again, you're playing without Gary Trent Jr. And Fred is still not 100% yet.
You mentioned Boucher, and I don't even know what I can ask about him, but I'm so impressed, Sherm. Like every game, he even drove. The guy closed out him too tight, and he drove right. The help came, took his steps, kind of lofted up there, put it off the glass. I'm like, okay, he's never done that before in a game that I've seen. Like this guy is playing at an all-time level for his career right now.
And when you're talking about team basketball, there's a rhythm to it, there's a fluidity to it, and there's one of those, I feel like this calmness about it. And Chris Boucher adds calmness with his energy because when he gets the ball, he's going to do something positive. His activity in terms of his defense, it's off the charts.
Tremendous.
The multiple efforts per possession, his ability to just not block shots, but have offensive players think about where he is.
Impact him.
It's unbelievable. And to your point, about his ability offensively, it's because he took a step back from trying to stay on the floor, shooting, to now giving the team what they want. And look how many offensive opportunities present themselves where he doesn't have to force it. He can just play with rhythm and just see what's happening and make a decision. He becomes a much better player when he plays that brand of basketball. Message was sent to him, he got it, and now he's flourishing in his role.
Offensive rebounding, being available on dump downs. How many dunks have we seen from him coming along the baseline? He's an outlet. He's a pressure release down there. So I love what he's doing, and he hasn't taken a step back with his energy in any sense, not in one sense.
And then when the coach believes in you. Yeah. It's a cycle, right? You just
It feeds into itself.
Yeah.
But Chris got I think it was a turnover, a rebound in the game, and he went coast to coast. And he sidestepped the defender and shot it kind of on his way by, softly over the front of the rim. 3-4 months ago, are we confident that Chris can make that play?
Yeah. That might be a charge.
It might be a charge. Yeah. It might be a wilder shot.
Yeah.
But he just has that confidence. And like you said, that cycle is being fed continuously.
Yeah.
Does Mobley look a little? Obviously, he's a specimen out there. He's unlike many players in the NBA. When you watch him, his size.
He blocked a couple shots that I didn't think he could get to. Whoa.
Yeah. But, do they use him the right way? Is it a little is it just because he's a rookie? He looks at times a little passive.
Games like this.
Yeah. I know.
They use him the right way because the guy is putting up numbers. He's playing well, and his skill
I
set.
feel like he could put up bigger numbers, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, he's a rookie. I mean, he's still playing against men, so it's not like it's an easy thing. But I think when you look at Evan Mobley, obviously we all think his skill set is off the chart. His frame is going to develop even more. His ability to process the game, kind of like Scotty Barnes, you see that mental approach to the game. But the biggest thing about him to me is that he is so raw.
Yeah.
You know, you look at his game and you're like,
More so than Scotty.
Yeah, when you think about him putting his handle together tighter, his defensive instincts are ridiculous. Like, he's one of the throwback shot blockers where they block shots and keep it in play. They don't swat it into the third row.
Leo loves those guys.
Yeah, you keep it in play, and he does that.
It's because of how he gets them too, right?
Yeah.
Like the old adage is, well, you don't jump till he jumps. If I'm a defender, I don't jump till the offensive player, leaves the ground.
Yeah.
And Mobley's long enough and athletic enough that he can leave the ground after the offensive player.
Yeah.
He got a block tonight. I think it was on OG or
Pascal.
Pascal. He got a block on somebody tonight. Offensive player went airborne, and it just got swallowed up. And I went, oh my goodness! I've never seen that happen to a Raptor player like that, especially with the length that Toronto has. So
I think Coach Bickerstaff is using him the right way and putting him in positions to be successful.
And Scotty, was up to the challenge. Started a little bit shaky, but then I thought he had a nice complete game tonight.
Good floor game. I just think that, to use Sherm's phrase, from the neck up, Scotty seeing the game. He made a no-look pass tonight for a dunk where
and that one too,
he saw the left lane being run, and it's like, okay, I know that's going to be a dunk. Let me just not rush it here. Let me take my time. One more dribble. You know what? I'm even going to look to the bench here with the guy going the other way and make the pass for dunk. Just his instincts, his innate ability. And that's what I keep saying. Somebody's taught this kid how to play. Somebody in a day and age when in the AAU, it's I'm getting mine, and all you see is the top of a guy's head when he's going between the legs and he's shaking and he's rocking and he's wearing out the brakes. Scotty doesn't always do that. I mean, he gets into the lane with the right matchup.
Yeah.
He posts with the right matchup. He'll run the floor, the long lob, put the defender at his back on his back, and have them throw it over the top. Like, these are things that you understand what to do on the court, and he's so young still.
That was a great impression of.
I will say this though.
Is that you, Randall?
That was me.
Where's your brother? Is that Randall?
Yeah, that
all you
was
can see is the crown of the head, and he's like the
Pass the ball.
He's like the and one logo, right?
Yeah.
Randy, you ain't even letting the ground touch the ball.
I will say this. Both of them showed a lot of maturity, both Scotty and Evan, on the fact that they didn't have their best games and they didn't try to force it. They played within themselves. They just tried to stay within the team concept.
Yeah.
That's a level of maturity that you don't see from young players where they want to get their numbers sometimes.
So this is a two-horse race.
You know what?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I know the voters are. I mean, it's hard to have that happen, but we have had split Rookie of the Years twice. We had Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. And then in 2000, we had, who was it, Elton Brand and... it's happened a couple times.
Yeah, I know.
It's happened a couple times. And if it happened this year, I'd be fine with it. It wouldn't surprise me. If it doesn't, one of the two is going to be disappointed because I wouldn't be, like either of them are deserving. I really believe that.
You think so too?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the way Evan Mobley got out the blocks, he had the lead.
Scotty's run him down.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think Scotty has done a great job with where his team is and his value to the team. He's made this really a two-horse race, and it's 1A and 1B, or it's just two 1As at this point. So I think the league would do it justice by giving them co-rookies of the year because it's really hard. Their numbers are so close, too. It's not like their numbers are in any category are that divided. So this would be a good year to probably roll that out.
Here's the one thing I would say, and maybe I'm partial, I'm biased because I've seen Scotty more. Not that I haven't watched Evan Mobley, and this is the one thing that, if you're a Raptor fan, scares you about the voters in the States. Cleveland got off to such a good start, and Mobley, as Sherm said, jumped out of the gate, and the eyes were on him, while Scotty was kind of working in the background. Now it's kind of reversed, and the numbers are so tight. I would hazard to say that Scotty gives more of everything than Mobley does. Because I heard you question the way he's being used.
Yeah.
And on a night like tonight, if this is one of the few nights that you've seen him, you might say that.
Yeah.
Whereas Scotty's handling the ball, he's initiating offense, he's running point, he's scoring on the outside, he's posting on the inside. If you were to step back and look, you might say, well, the numbers are the same, but this guy seems to be doing a little bit more or responsible for a little bit more.
Right.
So, but it's splitting hairs.
On a team that's got 3 20-point per game scores, essentially.
And the argument on the other side is Mobley's doing it without guys that don't have that, right?
I'll say this. I mean, you look at big players in a different way when they have guard skills, as opposed to a guard in Scotty Barnes who plays like a guard but can also play big.
Right.
There's a bit more attention to the bigger guy that plays smaller. Having said that, I mean, if they line up beside each other, I don't know how much taller Evan Mobley is than Scotty Barnes, and it's not that much of a difference. So,
well, Scotty's bigger than I think everybody thought.
Yeah. Height-wise, though, Evan Mobley's considered a big.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes might be right there, looking him probably a little bit lower to the eye. So, but the idea is bigger guys playing smaller seems to be more captivating than little guys playing bigger.
Right. Just before we go, this has been a great show, except for me. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the truth, yo. No, that's the truth. I saw it, too. I saw it.
You saw it?
I saw it.
All I can see is the top of your head, right? You go, get mine.
I saw his head up, but he didn't see anybody. Like, how is your head up and you don't see anybody?
I want to give Armani Brooks a shout out because he's hit some big shots over the last couple of games, and he's not shy, and I love that about him. And you know what? You got a 10-day, you're on a second day, 10-day, step into one, and he's doing that.
He's not afraid. And I'll say this on the other side of the coin. When you play for Nick Nurse, you quickly learn that it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not going to get pulled for missing a shot.
Right.
If I'm going to get pulled, it's for missing a defensive assignment. It's for, being selfish, throwing the ball away. But if it's a good shot and I'm ready and I fire it, he'll give me the okay. And I think that's what Brooks has done.
And he's hustling. He's doing all the other things. It's not like he's just trying to load it up and let it fly and like somebody.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I will say, well, there is. That's why your head is down or you're looking up, you can't see people. I will
I'm
say
sitting here, not over there.
One thing about Armani Brooks that I really, really enjoy is that the no fear is on both sides of the basketball.
Yes.
He'll mix it up defensively with bigger players. He'll get out. He had a great rundown block tonight.
Yes, he did.
And then offensively, like you said, there's no shot that scares him. It doesn't look big enough for him. So that type of two-way play, and again, you're on your second 10-day. You need one more, and you're around for the season.
Yeah.
And you'll be playing for a coach who's going to allow you to play, and you're playing for a team who could make a little bit of noise in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like all of that on his resume is going to propel him into a better situation moving forward.
Great stuff, guys. Going to stop you there. Next game for the Raptors, Saturday night, right here at SBA. Tip-off goes at 7:30 p.m. Eastern against the Indiana Pacers. We'll see you after the game.